Welcome, everyone. In this topic, we'll focus on two closely related individual interventions, which are mentoring and sponsorship. We'll begin by placing them inside the broader set of individual interventions, then we'll clarify the relationship between different levels of advocacy. After that, we'll distinguish mentoring from sponsorship and we'll also discuss two additional advocacy roles highlighted in the topic, which are champions and advocates, so you can see a full spectrum of support that helps individuals grow and move forward. Finally, we'll look at how these interventions work in practice for organizations, mentors, and mentees, and we'll connect them to the OD intervention flow using the case study steps from entry through adoption and separation. The topic begins by grounding mentoring and sponsorship within the broader category of individual interventions. Individual interventions can range from development-focused support to stronger forms of advocacy. Mentoring and sponsorship are not isolated practices. They fit within a spectrum of ways that organizations and leaders support individuals, especially in growth, development, visibility, and advancement. The topic emphasizes that these levels are related. In real workplaces, mentoring and sponsorship may overlap. The difference often comes down to the level of advocacy and action taken on someone's behalf. Understanding the levels helps organizations and leaders choose the right approach, either development support, advocacy, or a combination, depending on the need. Mentorship is fundamentally development focused. It supports learning and growth through guidance, feedback, and support over time. Mentoring helps build capability and confidence. It can also support professional direction, such as helping the mentee make sense of challenges, strengthen skills, and navigate workplace expectations. Sponsorship is distinct because it includes advocacy. A sponsor doesn't only advise, they use influence to open doors. Sponsorship often affects visibility, key assignments, and advancement opportunities. So, sponsorship is not only about what the person learns, it is also about what opportunities the person gains access to within the system. The topic also introduces champions. Champions provide strong support and encouragement, helping someone persist, especially when work is difficult or confidence is low. Champions may not always create opportunities in the way sponsors do, but they strengthen resilience and confidence, which is often necessary for development and performance. Also, advocates are another important role. Advocacy often shows up when fairness, access, or voice is at risk. Advocates speak up so people are not overlooked or unfairly limited. In organizational terms, advocacy supports inclusion and helps correct dynamics that quietly block opportunity. In practice, these roles form a support system for growth. Organizations can encourage mentoring and sponsorship intentionally through programs, matching processes, leadership expectations, and cultural norms. But outcomes depend on clarity and fit. If roles are vague, support becomes inconsistent. If ethics are weak, mentoring and sponsorship can create favoritism or mistrust. So the practice must be intentional and responsible. For the organization, mentoring and sponsorship support talent development and pipeline strength. They can increase retention and engagement because people feel supported and see pathways for growth. They also shape culture because consistent development and advocacy become norms, not rare events. For mentors and sponsors, these roles create structured ways to develop others. They can strengthen leadership credibility and influence, and they build relational networks that matter in real organizations. They also create legacy impact. because developing others is one of the most meaningful ways leaders contribute to long-term organizational health. For mentees, mentoring increases learning, confidence, and clarity. It helps them navigate expectations and strengthen skills. And when sponsorship is present, mentees gain visibility and access to opportunities that might otherwise remain closed. That combination, capability plus opportunity, often shapes advancement. If we summarize the spectrum clearly, mentoring develops capability, sponsorship creates opportunity access, champions sustain effort, and advocates protect fairness and voice. Seeing the spectrum helps you design the right kind of support depending on what a person actually needs at a given moment in their development. The topic highlights that the relationship quality matters. Programs and labels are not enough. Trust, consistency, and clarity are what make mentoring and sponsorship effective. Clear expectations and ethical boundaries protect the relationship and sustain credibility, especially because these interventions can affect career outcomes. The topic then ties mentoring and sponsorship to an OD intervention flow through a case study structure. We move through entry and startup, then assessment and feedback, action planning, intervention, evaluation, adoption, and separation. This shows mentoring and sponsorship as disciplined interventions, not informal favors, especially when organizations want consistency and fairness. Entry clarifies why support is needed and what the system is trying to improve. It identifies who will play which roles, and it sets initial expectations and ethical boundaries so the relationship is protected. Startup organizes the relationship in practical terms, such as communication, confidentiality, time commitments, and consistency. This prevents the intervention from becoming vague or uneven. Now, assessment and feedback clarify what the person needs and what the context looks like. It identifies barriers such as skill gaps, confidence issues, visibility issues, or system barriers, and uses feedback to align on realistic focus areas. Action planning sets goals and defines responsibilities clearly. It clarifies what actions will be taken, who will take them, and how progress will be recognized so the intervention becomes concrete. Now, intervention is the execution phase. Mentoring happens through development-focused conversations and guidance. Sponsorship happens through advocacy and opportunity creation. Championing and advocacy may be activated when persistence or fairness is threatened. Evaluation checks whether development is happening and whether opportunity outcomes are improving. It also supports adjustment so the support remains effective and fair. Now, adoption means the mentee increasingly owns their growth, and the organization strengthens development and advocacy norms as part of culture, not a one-time program. Finally, separation closes the formal relationship cleanly. The goal is not dependency. The goal is sustained capability and opportunity access through healthier ongoing systems.